Des Moines School's former superintendent Ian Roberts was sentenced today. He was charged with falsifying immigration documents and illegally possessing firearms. Local 5's JD Snover sat in on the hearing and is live at the courthouse now with some more details for us. JD.
Yeah, Stephanie. So ultimately, Roberts will spend a total of 2 years behind bars, and that includes credit for time already served in the Polk County Jail. So that sentence actually landed somewhere between what the prosecution was asking for and what his defense attorneys wanted. Just over 8 months after Ian Roberts was detained by immigration enforcement officials, and just over 4 months after pleading guilty on federal charges.
These are things that he did. He wants to accept responsibility for it.
He now knows what's next. In federal court, the sentencing hearing stretched more than 2 hours. Defense attorneys asked for probation, arguing prison time would come at a cost to taxpayers.
Because all they're doing is paying taxpayer money at, $4,000 a month? So why not deport them? That's what we want.
Roberts also addressed the court, describing his background from an impoverished childhood to what he says was a career as a high-profile police officer in Guyana. He told the judge he came to the United States on vacation at first and stayed out of fear for his life, and claims that's why he had multiple firearms when he was arrested. Prosecutors, however, asked for a longer sentence, 37 months in total, arguing Roberts spent decades evading the law and made what they called a conscious decision to, quote, exploit public trust. The judge also called the case a, quote, serious offense, noting Roberts led immigration agents into what she described as a, quote, dangerous situation at the time of his arrest. So now with the sentence set, attention turns to what comes next, including deportation and whether Roberts continues his work in education elsewhere.
He can add a lot to their educational system as they get this influx of money coming directly from the oil. I think he's going to, if he gets there and he's committed to it, he's going to do some wonderful stuff there.
Yeah, so after serving the rest of his sentence here on U.S. soil, he is expected to be transferred into federal immigration custody, where he will then be deported back to Guyana. His attorneys say they are continuing efforts to expedite that deportation process, again, kind of claiming that they don't want the taxpayers to spend any more money than they have to. They also say Roberts does not plan to return to the United States, but if he does try to come back and comes the legal way, he will be under supervision for the first 3 years on U.S. soil. Live at the federal courthouse in downtown Des Moines, I'm JD Snover, Local 5 News.
I've always said track and field is full of the most mentally ill, emotionally unstable, and criminally minded people in all of the community. Ian Roberts, the former middle distance runner from Guyana, was no different. Sentenced to 2 years, I knew that this day was coming. When I first did a video on him last year, talking about how he had been indicted for the immigration offenses, he had not yet been indicted for the weapons charges. Not long after I did the video, of course, he was indicted for the weapons charges. The guns that was found in his car and the weapons that was found in his home when the FBI searched his house after his arrest. He only got 2 years in prison. That's not that bad. You know, he was getting away with a lot of stuff. And everybody knows there's been an immigration crackdown in the United States. If you guys are not familiar with his track and field background, because the news report that I just played did not mention it, here's a rundown of his track and field stats that were mentioned when he was originally arrested.
Happens to be Des Moines School Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts. Fifth grader Amaya Vilmael won fair and square during her school field day. She credits her training with a local track club and her confidence to win the race.
There's so much talent amongst our young people, and so I'm looking forward to see what happens with all of these students, not only academically but athletically, for years to come.
And if you're wondering, Dr. Roberts ran in the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia.
Now, federal agents took the leader of Iowa's largest public school system into custody today. Federal law enforcement confirmed they arrested Des Moines Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts around 9 this morning. They say that he tried to get away from them and ran from his vehicle, but he was eventually caught. They say that Roberts had a gun, hunting knife, and $3,000. They say that Roberts already had a weapon charge from 5 years ago. The interim superintendent spoke today to address the arrest, saying they don't have all the answers, but plan to lean on their strong teachers and staff during this challenging time.
This is challenging on many levels. And the reality is that we may not have additional answers right away. However, the strength of Des Moines Public Schools is in its people, our leaders, educators, and staff who will continue to advance the mission on behalf of our students and families as we wait for clarity in what comes next.
Roberts was previously an Olympic athlete from Guyana. An ICE statement questioned how the Des Moines School Board could not have known about Roberts' immigration status and that it, quote, should alarm the parents of that school district, end quote. Des Moines School Board hired him in 2023, a year before the judge's deportation order. In a statement from Governor Kim Reynolds' office, she has been made aware of Roberts being taken into ICE custody. She's in contact with the Department of Public Safety and federal authorities.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. 100K a day, and today the biggest hater in track and field is going to be discussing the arrest of the gangster superintendent, the former Olympic track and field athlete, and the current superintendent of Des Moines, Iowa Public Schools, Andre Ian Roberts. Now, this has been a huge story. He was an Olympian back in the year 2000, running from the country for the country of Guyana, running the 800-meter dash. Now, don't get it twisted. He was absolutely dumpster juice. His performances were nothing to write home about. But that wasn't even the best part of his life so far. Really, the way he came from Guyana, rose his way all the way up to being superintendent of Des Moines, Iowa Public Schools. And, he had been all around the country. He had been, been doing a lot of things around the country. He had worked in teaching in St. Louis, Missouri, and a few other places. But his personal best when he was actually competing, because I got to get this part out, his personal best were only about a minute and 46 seconds. A minute and 46 seconds in the 800. He ran 103 in the 500. He ran 348 in the 1500, and he ran 49 seconds indoors. So, ran 48.6 outdoors. So he wasn't really that good at all. But, being from a dumpster juice country like Guyana, not having any real, athletes there that are performing very well, being a country that is that is a lot of Indian descents, East Indian descendants, he doesn't really have a lot of competition with him being of African descent. So he was able to represent the country in the year 2000. But after that, of course, before that, he graduated from college in 1998. And he was a decent track and field athlete in the MEAC conference. And he was a champion back then. And he competed at Coppin University. Now, at Coppin State University, he also earned academic and athletic All-American honors and became the school's first All-American and consequently the university's first Olympic athlete. After graduating from Coppin, he continued his collegiate athletic pursuits at St. John's University in Queens, New York, where he earned his first master's degree. He went on to say that at St. John's, I became an All-American and Big East Conference champion in the 800. After which I earned a professional athletic contract I subsequently competed in and won a gold medal at the Central American Championships in Bridgetown, Barbados. And, I ran a time that qualified me for the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, Australia. I competed in 800 meters in 2 world championships in Seville, Spain. That was 1999. And Japan. I believe that was the Indoor Worlds in 2001, and was a finalist at the Pan American Games in the 800 meters.
So that was his resume. He was a decent athlete, went to the Olympics. He seemed to be trying to do the right thing. So I don't know what demons he was facing, he was battling, but in the end, he still ended up in prison. 2 years ain't that bad. It's not like he got 20 or something that's going to be close to a life sentence. Hopefully he uses his time to take care of himself and get his act together. But I know he's happy to see this case be resolved. And I'm happy to give y'all an update on what happened with him. He's going to be deported when he gets out. He won't be allowed back in the United States. At least not while Trump is in office. You guarantee that much. Trump will be out in the next 2.5 years. So we'll see how things turn out. He may have no real connection to Guyana. he said he was fleeing the country because of, he was scared for his life. That may have been a lie. Because, it's funny, after all this stuff blew up, the Iowa school district, sued the company that they used to do background checks on people, because it was crazy, because they actually missed the fact that he wasn't even a legal citizen at the time he was hired.
Well, breaking news this afternoon, the search firm used to hire former Des Moines School Superintendent Ian Roberts is suing Des Moines Public Schools. JG Consulting is suing for defamation, claiming statements made by the district harmed the company's reputation. DMPS hired the Texas firm to do a background check on Ian Roberts during the 2023 superintendent search. Roberts was arrested on immigration charges in September and later resigned from the position. In October, the district sued the firm, claiming it had breached their contract by failing to properly vet Roberts. We have reached out to DMPS. It says it does not comment on pending litigation.
They actually sued the company, if you guys remember the story. So he may have been lying about everything about it, his background, because they said he had a lot of misinformation, or let's just say lies, in his credentials when he even applied for that job. So you don't know when this man is telling the truth or when he's lying. But for right now, he's going to be sitting in jail for the next year or two. He won't do much more. He only got to do like 20 months on 24 months, and he already has almost a year in. So it's not too bad for him. Things looking up. Is always light at the end of the tunnel. So we'll see how things progress with him in the future. See if we see him in the news doing some great things back in his home country of Guyana. Till next time, y'all, this is the king of track and field, Mr. 100K a day. I'm out this joint. Peace.